What are we talking about today?
We're playing with more balls,
Yay!
but bigger balls.
Oh, good. It's not the size that matters, but for this one it actually kind of does.
You want about 9 inches in diameter. This is a Pilates ball, and I've taken out about 2/3 of the air.
Yeah. So you can get these anywhere. They're pretty inexpensive. This is going to be really helpful for this practice, which is a holistic fluidity practice that can be really amazing if you're prepping for a surgery, if you're recovering from a surgery, but especially to get into place beforehand so you have that practice. You use this a lot with your clients. You want to show us how it goes?
Yeah, I use it a lot with my clients. I use it every day. So this can be used in multiple ways. One way is as a somatic practice of noticing. So using this as a play toy to notice what's going on in your body with tension and to practice melting and releasing over the ball. It can also be used as a sort of like therapeutic play toy to bring more fluidity and movement to the spinal column and invite gentleness. So yeah, let me show you. So you can start at the base of the spine, or you can start at the head, work your way up and down or down and up. It's up to you. I have more pain in my hips and my low back, so I like to start at the top of my head and work my way down to that and then back up. I suggest trying both and seeing which one your body says, yes, more of that, please. So this is not a practice of stretching. You could use the ball to do something like this. That is something different. This exercise is about the fluidity of floating in water. So imagine your spinal column just moving through water like a fish. And so this is really gentle, up and down, side to side, little circles. Less is definitely more for this exercise. And when you're ready, you can just slide it down. And we're going to just go through that all the way from top to bottom and then bring it back up again. One thing I like to notice is, where do I have tension? So Liz Koch talks a lot about restorative pose, and this is that. So my knees are up, take tension off my low back. I just kind of maybe shake my foot, my leg, drop it down, just let it rest there, let my toes spread and kind of root down. I'm not adding pressure, I'm just allowing them to be. And then as I'm gently moving here, I'm noticing, where else am I holding tension in my body? I've got a lot of gut stuff, so I'm holding tension here because my gut's trying to like steady itself. It's like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. I better hold tight. So I'm gonna take a breath, send it down into my guts and say, you can let go. We're safe here. When I'm ready, I'm gonna roll down a little bit further and just see what I notice. I notice my shoulders start to tense a little bit. They're like, oh, I've got you, no problem, we're strong, we'll hold you up. But that's not the goal of this exercise. I'm not trying to strengthen. I'm trying to melt over the ball. You can check out the melt method for a lot more of this stuff. It's really incredible, supportive whole body work. But if I have tension here trying to hold me up, I want to tell my shoulders like relax. And I might try moving my arms to see at what point they just kind of go, oh, you actually don't need me. No, I don't right now, but thank you for trying to help. So just soft, gentle movements. If I'm moving up here, my neck, likely my hips are going to be moving because this is all connected. If they're not, you've probably got stuff going on you could tell me about. Check out more of Liz Koch's stuff on the psoas, perhaps. Another thing that I'm noticing as I'm slowly coming down is, are my guts talking to me? And that's a good sign. So that means I'm going into rest and relaxation and digestion is starting up, I want that. If I'm stretching or I'm strengthening, my body's not going to be going into digestion. It's like, oh, we're working right now. That's so too far, too much. Back down, slow it off. So I like to listen to see if my stomach starts chatting with me. That's a positive sign to keep going. The other thing I'm doing is noticing where my body says no thank you and changing something, change anything to see if it helps. If that didn't do it, try something else, see if it helps. So it's a little bit of like cat and mouse game here of like, oh, my body doesn't really particularly like it that far on the left. I'm going to lift myself up and shuffle it. That's a little more even. Now I feel my hips relax more. I take a breath to my shoulders, which tightened. And I relax over the ball. And then I can give it a little bit of soft, gentle movement again. The other thing I'm looking for is where does my body want more? Where is it hunger for more? Like, ooh, whew, that feels so good. Sometimes it's like, that hurts in a good way. If it's not sharp and it feels like you want more, you might try and follow that and see what happens. If it's like, fuck to the yeah, you might stay there as long as you want. Again, really gentle, really soft. Just make your way all the way down. I like to spend extra time at my sacrum because, and my neck, because these two places just have so much concentrated bundling of nerves. There's just a lot going there. So if you notice that your legs are bracing to hold you up, you might try taking some of the air out of the ball, and that releasing, making it a little flatter, might allow you to feel like you can trust that you're held by the ball with more ease. I find that I'm often putting air in and taking air out day to day, depending on how my body's feeling and what's going on there. So give yourself all the permission in the world to just try random things, see what happens. And then we would work our way back up. So that's the basics of that exercise.
What kinds of surgeries could this be useful for?
Anything that allows you to get onto your back, you know. I found that this as surgery prep is helpful for any and all surgeries, because after surgeries, whether it's your hand or your chest or your pelvis, you're going to be frozen to some degree. Your body's going to be braced out of safety, and having a practice of fluidity and movement that it can come back to and it knows and it trusts is a really huge resource that you can build up for yourself, that you can then tap into immediately after your surgery. So.
How do you make yourself want to actually do it after just watching the video?
You know, I had multiple teachers giving me this exercise, and I had a really hard time getting myself to do it at first. And it got to the point where I was in so much pain that I was like, oh, I better try all the things, and just threw everything at the wall. And within 2 weeks, I realized that if I didn't do this every morning, by 2 o'clock, I was walking a little funny and my hips were feeling off. So I then was able to come back to this practice with a lot of ease, because I have the trust in my body to know that this fucking makes a difference for me. So if nothing else, maybe there's one other person you know that this has made a difference for, and I know many people. So if you can give yourself 2 weeks of it, I'm willing to bet that you're gonna notice a difference. I also find that giving myself something to do while I'm doing it, like the mindfulness thing, the piece about paying attention, that can come and go. Like, let that be the second piece to just doing the exercise. Just get down there and softly, gently roll. And the noticing part, work on that later if you need to. So maybe you start by like singing while you're doing it. Lay down, turn on some music you like, and hum or sing. One thing I like to do is I've got like a selfie stick that's like a little tripod, and I like put it over here, and then I lift it over myself so I can be on a video call with somebody while I'm doing this. So the mindfulness piece is not exactly top notch in those moments, but I do the fucking exercise. So figure out what you need. You know, maybe you watch a show. Figure out what you need to be still enough to do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we find out more? Hear more of you?
Well, we've got a gaggle of videos here on YouTube for surgery prep, all kinds of surgery prep around scar care support in advance so you can get your body ready as well as post-op. And you can find us on Instagram at Queer Scar Care.
Yeah.
All right, thanks y'all.